guys, in this session we are going to discuss about a very important topic of C programming. So it is data types. So in the last class we discussed about variables, its declaration with that of a real-time example. So more or less this topic is related to that of variables, friends. So you must have to make a relationship between what all the concepts that we studied in variable declaration, right? So now we will jump into the session. So friends, in this session we are going to cover up about its introduction, its various data types that are present in C programming, and with a simple example of implementing all those types. So actually in data type declaration there are many types, friends, but here we are going to take up only important data types and that we are going to cover up here, right? So without any delay, let me start my presentation. So first and foremost, we are going to start up with introduction of data types. So see friends, this is an example that we took up in the last video, isn't it? Do you all remember? Yes. So this is a shape, and these are all different types of shapes that we are going to implement, and under each and every shape we are going to insert the objects. So the same example I have took here, right? So now for example, this shape we take as an integer value. So this shape is a long integer. So like this I have given each and every name for different types of shapes, right? So actually what we are going to insert in the respective shapes, those objects which is going to match in that respective shapes, we are going to insert it. So now these are all different types of data that we are going to store in my C program or in a memory, right? So what is an integer? So integer is one of the data type that is going to store only whole numbers, right? So the way of representation of storing integer value is %t. So this we have seen already, isn't it? So here we are using formatted characters for holding the respective value of that variable, right? So next you see long integer. So what is a long integer? So based on the sizes of values that we are going to store in the memory, they are being categorized as integer, long integer and short integer, friends, right? So if I want to store more amount of whole numbers in my memory, I can go for long integer. Friends, are you all clear? So these are all the different types of frequent data types we are going to use in C program. So first you must have to be familiar in these types, and then we will go for many more types that are present under it, right? So what is a long integer? So long integer is used for storing more values of whole numbers in a variable. So its representation is %L and D. Like this only you should have to give, right? So next you see short integer. So what is a short integer? If I want to store some values lesser than that of long integer or integer, I can go for this option, right? So %ht is its representation, right? So next you see unsigned integer. So what is called unsigned integer? So it is one type of storing a value of integer type that doesn't hold any negative values, right? So if you want to use that case, I can mention it as unsigned int. Now I am going to tell you how I am going to write the syntax or keyword for all these types. First let me tell you the meaning of each and every data type first, right? So now %u is for representing a formatted character of unsigned int, right? So next we will go for float. So what is a float? It is used for holding decimal values, right, in my memory. Okay, so its representation is formatted character. So see here I have written another one data type, it is double. So what is this double? So double is also used for storing fractional parts in my program, in my variable, but the total number of fractional parts will be larger when compared to that of this float, right? So next you see character. So what is this character? It is used for holding only combination of alphabets, letters or symbols. So whatever that is being given in single quotes, that is only one character it will accept. So if whatever that I'm going to give in single or double quotes, it will be taken as a character. So it is not going to use for any arithmetical operations. Friends, are you all clear? Right. So next we will see string data type. What is this string? So it is used for storing sequence of characters, that is more than one character. It may be number, alphabet, or any type of symbols that is being given in double quotes. So that is a major difference between character and string. So its formatted character is %C, and for this it is %S. So now we will see some of the examples, right? So for this integer data type, I have stored some set of values. So they are 50, 10 and 100. So these are all belonging to the integer value, right? So next we will see for long integer. So the examples are like this. You see number of digits is increasing when compared to that of this integer, right? So next is for unsigned integer. So same, I am going to store only integer values, but rather than storing negative, I am going to store only positive numbers. See, like this. Okay, so suppose in this place, if I give -5, -10, so on, the compiler will not accept, right? So now we will go for float data type. So what is a float data type? As I told, it is going to store only decimal values, isn't it? So like this, I am going to store. So just make a note of the number of fractional parts that I am going to store in my any variable, right? So you see here I am stored around 5 digits and 3 digits, right? So up to 6 to 7 digits I can store in float. But here in double data type, see, I can store more than 7 to 15 digits, right? So number of digits is going to get increased. Okay friends, so that is a major difference between this double and float data type, right? So now we will see for character. So like this only I will be inserting for character data type. See, only one letter, one number or one symbol only I can store. Okay, so I must have to give either in double or single quotes. Okay, so now you see for string data type. So this is some of the example I have written. So sequence of characters I can write. See, welcome. And here in the second example you see combination of letters, symbols and digits all are being written over here. So this is some of the example of string data type. So now for short integer, so this is some example, right? So single digit or digits that is covering less than the size of this integer I can store, isn't it? So this belongs to a short integer data type. So friends, this is an overall explanation of data types with respect to examples. I think so now you would have been clear of understanding this data types. Okay. So here this is a screen that tells you what are all the common data types that we are using in C program. Okay, so here we are going to have an overview, friends, right? So first data type, it is primitive. So what is called primitive? So primitive meaning is predefined or it is a built-in data type. So what all the data types that we have declared just now and seen just now all comes under primitive data type. So integer, float, double, character and string. So what is the total size that is being stored is 2 or 4 bytes for integer. See, another formatted character for integer is %I. So please make a note of it. So this they may ask you in any type of MCQs or they may ask in any type of theoretical questions. Okay. So next is float. So float maximum number of sizes 4 bytes. Then for double 8 bytes and for character it is 1 byte of data it is going to hold. So for string there is no necessity of mentioning anything, right? So you can just leave it. So these are all the default sizes that you must have to remember. So now we will go for user defined. So if I am going to give my own name for my variable, then it is going to be your user defined data. So along with that I will be defining a collection of variables that has to be hold up in that variable name. So that type of data type definition and declaration is called as a user defined data type. So these are all some of the examples: structures, unions, arrays, enum and class. So all these things we are going to cover up in the future, friends. You just make a note, right? So next we will see derived data types. So what is called derived data types? For example, suppose if I am going to declare or define a function, so that is one type of a derived data type. Okay, I will be giving a function name and its return type. Okay, so that we have discussed in the last videos, right? What's a return type, what is a function name, and so on. So if I'm going to define my own functions, my own operations under a separate name, then it is called as a derived data type. So these are all some of the examples: pointers, reference, even array also will come, and functions. Right friends, so make a note of what are all these types of data types, right? So now I am going to explain you the conceptual information of data types, right? So all the various types of data we discussed, isn't it? So for all those things, this point will come. So a type assigned to a value of a variable. So whatever data type that I am going to take, so those data type is going to belong to a particular type of a value, and it is going to get stored under only that variable, right? So these are all some of the examples. So this example I discussed already. So int RNO is equal to 10. So int is the data type. This is the way you should have to declare. So roll number RNO is equal to 10, and float. So this is the syntax for representing a float variable. So average interest. So two variable names I have declared. So for average it is 75.6 I am storing, and for interest it is 7.8. So like this I can declare the variables and I can use it, friends. We are going to take up a simple example of how to implement a few of the data types that we have discussed just now. So shall we proceed? This is a simple program of implementing simple interest calculation. Okay, so as a first step we have declared the header file. Then in the second step is void main. So void main, what is the meaning? I am not going to return any answer after performing all these calculations. Okay, I am going to print and use the answer here itself. Okay, so no return type is being mentioned. So next you see I have declared two variables, principal and number of years. So its data type is integer. So the keyword is int. So next I have declared another one variable. So it is interest. So its data type is float. Okay, so like this only I must have to use a keyword for float. So float is going to store only decimal values, right? So next you see I have declared another one variable, it is total. Okay, so what is its data type? It is long. So meaning is I am going to use more number of decimal values for storing in my variable. So this is printf, enter the principal amount. Okay, that will be printed. What is the /t? After this semicolon, if I want 8 spaces to be left out, okay, so for that I can use this tab. So this is called as tab space. So this is another input statement for getting the value for number of years. So since it is an integer variable, I am going to declare it as with %t. So this is a formatted character, right? So the next input statement is for interest variable. So since this is a float variable, I am going to declare with the formatted character as %f, friends. Are you all clear? So like this only you must have to give the input statement with respect to that of formatted characters and its type. So next you see I have done a simple calculation. So what is the formula for calculating the simple interest? Principal into number of years into interest divided by 100. So the same formula I have written here. Okay, so under this total I am going to store the value. So what long data type is being used for this? Total, isn't it? So that I am going to store that answer. So next you see printf. After performing this calculation, the resultant answer, that is equal to what I am going to print. Since it is a long data type, I want to use this formatted character as LD. So this we discussed, isn't it? So in this location, whatever answer that is being got, that will be displayed over here, right? So now we will compile and run the program. So now we will see the output. So suppose if I give the value as 20,000 for the principal amount and the number of years is 3 and interest amount is, for example, 3.1. Okay, so what is the answer? So the resultant answer is 1860. So this is the simple interest value for a particular person, right? So now this is a way I must have to implement all of my float values, all of my integer or long values or whatever it is based on the requirement of my program. Okay friends, I think this video will be very helpful for all the people who are watching this, right? So in the next session we are going to come out with another very interesting video, friends. So bye and stay tuned.